Grimshaw, Frank Walker, Minky Mutu, Topher's Cartels, Paul T, Mondo Daffs Brush, Mystery Technologies here, Mr. Egg Cake, Spider Driver Lee, Tom Houston, Harris, Chalk, Phil Brown, Kevin Hurst, and Mr. Egg Cake. The usual suspects are here. Let us begin this stream with sterilization, as is traditional. Sharpen the what? Sharpen the files. Scanning with ultraviolet energy. Stand by to be irradiated with UVA-ish near UV ultraviolet light. Healthy. And the first toast. Have you recovered from the toffee vodka yet? The toffee vodka was horrific. Carolina Reaper toffee vodka. It burned so much. Even the tiniest little sip burned so much. And one of the weirdest things, I had cream soda with me. I visited the NBC potty yesterday. I had cream soda with me. I added a little drip into the cream soda. It only took 2 little splashes to make it the spiciest ginger beer ever. Honestly, it was like drinking ginger beer. Maybe that's how they do it. Let us drink the first toast. And the first toast is to Las Vegas, who has just kicked off its Pride celebrations in October. Yesterday, last night, this morning, they kicked it off in our time. To Las Vegas. And the reason they have it now, that's courtesy of Jack Attack, by the way. This is the Aftershock, Cinnamon Aftershock. So Las Vegas Pride, they have it in October because when everybody else is having it round about sort of June time, that's way too hot in Las Vegas, so they moved the celebration. Do the live thing, says DCL. It's live, it's live. Check the little dot down here. Make sure it's lit in your progress bar. If it's not, and you're tuning in when the live stream is live, you might be starting at the very beginning. I don't know if they still do that anymore. I don't know if they fixed that problem. Las Vegas is hell in summer. Yes. Very hot. Too hot. I've been to Las Vegas once. I got married in Vegas. Never again. Never get married at all, Bob Apples. I've been to Las Vegas once, and it was pretty hot then, but I tend to go, if I'm going to America any time, it happens early in the year. Thank you, Mr. Warwick. Much appreciated. Live now, but I can't get closed captions to work. It may be because it hasn't processed the closed captions yet. You're in dire need of a haircut. I am. It's not helped the fact I was really struggling to stay awake. So just before the stream, I thought I shall go to bed and have a quick sleep. Thank you, Cal Fox. Only 31 degrees Celsius right now in Las Vegas, which is hot. For me, that's very hot. So I thought I'll have a quick kit, but I'll set the alarm just as well I did. It was only an hour's sleep, and I instantly went to sleep, but it packed in an entire night's dreams in that 1 hour. It was everything. It was weird. Woofle it off, Matt England. No, I won't be woofling the head. That's not a good idea. Live head shave, Mr. Headcake, is also not a good idea because I'll miss bits. It's better. Ralph's across tomorrow. I might get him to shave my head again. It's always best to get your head shaved by an undertaker. Your hair looks really soft. It's really odd. People used to touch it all the time, which is not nice, because they thought, oh, that's weird hair. It's more like cat fur. It's really thin and fluffy and dense. That's why it causes problems with the shavers. Only good shavers can do it. That'll give me an opportunity to test another shaver. Sterilize. The sterilization has been done. Does anyone need a pole transformer, Megavolt Meister? They're just willy-nilly everywhere. Also, we don't want pole transformers in the wrong hands. The people who say, I'm going to make a Halloween Jacob's Ladder out of a pole transformer, don't realise what they're dealing with. It's like the wood-burning art people. Jesus, good for dreams. Wednesday Deal is my current favourite. Does it really work, Brit? I've never really worked if that works. Oil your hair? No, I do not like oily hair. My hair is super dry. That's how I like it. Were the Pixies and Unicorns? No, Pie Man. It was actually in a station somewhere. And just bizarre. But it was interesting as well. Darwin Awards. To a degree, but we prefer not to kill people who are technically adventurous. Pole transformers not everywhere around here. They're not chipmunk. Our transformers in the UK tend to be square for a start. I think they're moving towards the round pole transformers. Pole pigs. I get huge detailed panoramas. It's reputable. Ah, that's good. Did you meet the shadow people in the dreams? No, Monkey Man here. I've not seen the shadow people in a long time since installing my little shadow people repulsion light. What is the winding ratio? There are various winding ratios. I forgot to add sweetener to this coffee. That's okay. But typically speaking, you're talking on the average typical supply 11 kV down to 415, 240, 415. So they can work that out. They make a good bang when they explode. Yes, John Key. That's because there's A, lots of power. B, they're full of boiling oil because when they start feeling it boils. And they do explode and blow their top off like a tiddlywink, but a very heavy tiddlywink. Any more orange? No. There's nothing orange in the vicinity. Not even this little cube, which is slightly disappointing. It's got, but I suppose if I tilted it the correct angle, it might go orange. There's a bit of orange there. That'll do you. That's your orange. This is not the full. This is not a styropyro grade color splitting cube. It's clear right through the middle, clear. But the faces are yellow, but past cyan light. And what's the other one? Cyan, and blue, really. So really reflecting a greeny colour and a yellow. Thank you, Bob Apples. Have a beverage on me for all the hours of entertainment restoring some sanity. Why, thank you. That's greatly appreciated. I have stocked up in Jägermeister, but also I've got the, well, I'll go and get, no, you've seen the bottle because I showed it on one of the streams from Glasgow. The, what is it, Aftershock. Greetings back to Montreal, Mark. Tried to soda stream some cider, exploded, and took the bottle loose. Has this happened to you, Lockwatcher? You have to release the pressure very slowly. If you can, it depends. Some soda streams do not let you do that. Do you shampoo your beard? Solar Shed 13. I use Head and Shoulders on the beard when I'm in the shower. The whole lot gets done with the same stuff. The whole body gets done with the same Head and Shoulders shampoo. Usually at the gym, which I've not been to in a long time, so I'll be going back to the gym shortly. It's been just done here in the shower. Show the silicon sculpture. The silicon sculpture, indeed, Craig Matthews. I don't know what it's made of. This is something that came from Temu. It looks like glass. It's very big, and it takes light very well. Let me get a light. And you think, yeah, it looks like a glass ornament. It could have been a candlestick. If this bit hadn't been put in the end, they could have put a candlestick in there. So they might have added that later on. But the thing is, actually, it's rubbery. And if you shine light up it, well, you can see how well it takes the light. That's quite attractive. I might add an LED to this and actually use it as an ornament because that's probably safer than its intended purpose, which is extremely odd for its intended purpose. DCon says it's a Dido. And Franco Walker says it's a Putt Blug. Yes, it is being sold as that on Temu. But why? Why did they make one that looks like this? It looks like ornate glasswork, and it doesn't strike me as being ideal for the task. But I suppose maybe old ladies like glass. They like sticking glass things in. Except this isn't glass, so it's going to be a lot safer. Lovely. Cal Fox. Hold on, I shall find that. Cal Fox, thank you. Any thoughts on Burning Man? I've not even looked at the Burning Man thing in a long time. Is it still going on? I know they build that big neon sculpture with mercury tubes, and then they burn it down thinking, well, that's not very ecological, but that's all right. It also looks as though it's gone very fashionable. It was just geeks going out there before. It's become a trendy thing, so it looks a bit of a exhibitionist's paradise. Maybe it's supposed to be discreet. You could put it in the shelf, although it doesn't hold its shape too well. It's slightly bent, and at any movement of the table, it'd be like bada 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 bada. But just for fun, because the Isle of Man has lots of old people, I did take a picture of it and then posted in a local community forum saying, does anybody know what this is? I found it in my grand's collection of glassware, and a lot of people put lots of smutty double entendres in. I'll put it through. Temu has everything. Made by exploited child labour, apparently. It looks like a bedpost, which is the thing. It does look bedpostish. Ornate wooden carving. Look, there's brown tint. There's not a brown tint, Big Toe. It is completely clear and does not been anywhere. Let's test the fire stop, Brickleg PV. I should actually check it every so often to make sure it is still pressurised. Hold on, I'll give it a shake. Do you bother shaking it? Oh, I better put this fire out then, I guess. Let's squirt it on the floor. Yeah, it's working. Buckets of water first. Vince's desk arm next year, it could be. On the windowsill with an LED in it, Callum. One man, one jar came to mind. Do you know why one man, one jar came to mind? It's because I was watching HVAC Overtime yesterday. It's a live stream of HVAC guys, and one of them had been doing an experiment in drawing a vacuum in a chamber to show how the refrigerant infuses into oil, and that, you know, if you got fresh oil, it won't, if you put a vacuum, it won't boil out, but if you get the refrigerant infused oil, it will outgas. And he was just basically saying this is outgassing your refrigeration system. It's getting all the impurities purged out of it. But someone had talked about making a little vacuum set up the one of the standard jars that very Kilner jars. I'm not really sure. There's an American version, but it's a jar they use in the kitchen a lot with the little seal down lid. And someone said, no, don't. They implode. And it made me think of one man, one jar. If you've ever seen that. Mason jars, that's the one. I think they call them Kilner jars here. I'm not really sure. It's probably just brands. Wrong kind of glass, possibly. Fanatical, although I've got a vacuum chamber, but it is a metal one, but it's got a large plastic disc in the top. But it's for resin and stuff like that. Lucas sitting in the cornice, it is quite dark now, but that's what happens. Kilner have the clip down lids, as do the Kilner ones have the clip down. Do the Mason ones not have that? One man is already brutal enough without implosion. It does kind of implode brutal, Vera de Wolf. It's a terrible video. He didn't go to hospital afterwards, which is worse. He was pooing out glass for quite some time afterwards. Glass and blood. Not good. Not a good video. When does summertime finish there? Soon, Voltar 2M stereo. To be honest, I don't keep track of things like this. It just happens, and all my clocks set themselves to the right time, except that one won't. But not to worry, we'll deal with that when it happens. Thank you, Scruff Dog. This 420 puff is to you, Clive, and to you, fam, for everything. Thanks for hanging out. Cheers. Is it 420 where you are now? It is 9:20 here. 5 hours difference. Mason jars with a flat lid and an open circular ring to screw it down. Oh, okay. Sepsis much, indeed. Absolutely. And Pritchard, he'd like to survive, but was he not Russian? So he couldn't go to the hospital because of, shall we say, a backward society in terms of their management, but not the people themselves. 420 is a reference to marijuana. It is indeed. I'm aware of that, yes. Max D, you're not that late. Blaze it, fan of grog. Blaze it. Locktober. Locktober, Kieran? Don't know about that one. Dennis, anyone seen the Star Power's latest video? He did say things were a little derogatory if you caught it. He did say things that were a little derogatory. I didn't catch his most recent video. I mean, I saw the Star Power, the one where he's blowing stuff up with a high current. And he did have to blank out some words. Since we're a bit light in attendance today, good. 633 is not bad because it means that it's more manageable. It's not the 1,200 plus people that used to appear. It's gradually got smaller and smaller. Keep in mind, I don't advertise this stream, so it's just people who turn up randomly. When will you reopen the online shop? This show, I'm not really sure. The postal system is still messed up here. And now they've been saying, "Hi, we're doing a survey. Why is nobody using the postal system anymore?" Yeah, because, well, the price went boom through the roof, particularly to America. Christian, Clive never knows about things. Very interested to find Spectre things he does and doesn't know about. Could make a whole short series out of it. Normal things are things I don't know anything about. Just useful, random technical information. He called something gay, that's all. Yeah, but that's he then justified it by saying it was effectively the polarity was effectively male to male, female to female. So that was justified. It's fine. I don't mind stuff like that. It wasn't done in malice. Kittens or Clive, something furry either way, Numi. Yes, little Hutchie called by recently, as she does. Squish pigeon. What? Gaze Force visit. It's quite an extreme force, Herbert Church fancy. Things were behaving very oddly indeed. Very violent, very good. Thank you, Mr. Warwick. Do you ever go on holiday, Clive? And if so, where? I usually go to Glasgow. It's great going to Glasgow. That's the only place I go these days. Places that I either, well, working and stuff like that. So that's holidays. Hand picture, I think if I had a pet rabbit, I'd call it Hutchie. My theory about Hutchie is that she was called Hutchie because she was a stray kitten. Her mother just ran off for some reason, not really sure. She was rehomed, but then things went wrong. She was put in a home with lots of loud dogs and just decided to go and set off somewhere else. And maybe Hutchie was found in a goodness knows, don't know the full story. Thank you, Will, 1985. Much appreciated, greatly appreciated. To be fair, Styro does come off as autistic, Full Tower 2M stereo. Nobody normal does stuff like Styro Pyro. It's not Norman type stuff. He's almost certainly one of us, so to speak. They thought she was rabbit, perhaps. No, she doesn't look very rabbity, Chris Hartley, but it's most likely she, because when I first came here and little China appeared, she was always just in um, a tree out in the garden, just looking down at me, and it was this strange mystery. I called China Tree Cat initially, and then later on, the little kitten appeared. She's not a kitten anymore. Yes. Normies are boring usually. They are incredibly boring, Craig Matthews. It's very hard having a conversation with them. They just want to talk about stuff. Like normal stuff. Much better talking to people who are autistic because then you get a decent conversation. So I'll show you the toffee vodka. I won't be drinking it. It's Finn Spirits Distillery Carolina Reaper Toffee Vodka, and unfortunately, it's got the Reaper thing in it. Is it going to go? Is it going to go? It's just floating about in there. It actually looks like a big lump of turd inside. I don't know if you can even see that. You can kind of see it looks like a big lump of stuff, and it's clearly been put through the top, and then it's puffed up, and it's oozed all its oils out into this stuff, and it's just like just instant hiccups and burning tongue for a long time afterwards. There's gin in it too. Why? Because toffee vodka on its own isn't enough, apparently. It's a pickled turd. It looks like a pickled turd. Chug? No. So June chugged it. He chugged part of a shot and regretted it. Kevin did it, and then one of the other guys that pops in occasionally, can't remember which one it was. It's the twins. I call them the twins. Uh, he came in and he took a chug and nothing happened because he's quite used to peppers. But then it started going off inside him, and then he had to go and be sick. That it's very potent. Worse than straw. Much worse than straw, Thomason. Straw is just a very high percentage alcohol. Like I guess it's probably like drinking Everclear, which we don't have over here, or moonshine. I thought you said I don't like spicy Max D, which is why June filmed me drinking it, tasting it, and the rest of it was poured little drops of it into the cream soda, and it made me sneeze. The cream soda after that because curly straw time. No, Brit, the curly straw of death. Do you mean James? That's the one. Probably James, Christian. I think it was James. I'm not sure because I think it was James because there's two of them and they look identical. Sometimes they wear the same t-shirt as well, which doesn't really help. They play the twins game. James, as someone said, firefighter is woof. What? Firefighter? He works for the utility company. I think he's with the electrical side now. Where can I find those warm white flashy LEDs you have on your supercomputer? They were very hard to get, Brian. Very hard to get those slow ones. Very hard to get white at all in the correct colour. Thank you, Jeff. Much appreciated. The one place I did find, unfortunately, only half of them arrived from, and they were expensive. I had to buy a huge number initially. Something went wrong. I guess it might have. There's a possibility they shipped it as 2 boxes. They should have shipped it as one, but they put a customs label in one. I've got a horrible feeling customs may have just seized the other half consignment, and I never saw them. Raised an issue on AliExpress. I hadn't received them, and they didn't refund much. It was my first bad experience with AliExpress. I wonder if Temu has LEDs. Well, they seem to have everything else, but actually, Han Pritchard, they're not very good for modules and electronic stuff that I've found so far. They're very strange, and also, I thought those were yellow. They might look a bit yellowish depending on your colour rendering, but they are warm white. Kevin doesn't have Kevin. You could just get one of those things that I just showed you and sit on it and pretend it's Kevin. Rant. The slight rant was justifiable rant. Fire, pretty please, no Monkey Man here. Too early for fire. There's another minute till fire. Time of LEDs, but I wouldn't for not quote. Probably the dregs. I'll put this through before I just randomly chug from it. Temu have also let us down with a dangerous product. These were supposed to be mains voltage LEDs. Only ones could find. They came with a USB connector on them, so you can plug them into your mains USB supply. Therefore, they are safe. Boo! Kevin Vodka. Oh, did he put up a short on the Kevin Vodka as well? Okay, time for fire. Can we get a tour of the bungalow? No, Minky Mutu, because it's a dive. It looks exactly like technical people's houses should. Full of technical junk. Every crevice, every shelf filled with technical junk, so it's there on hand for when we need to do technical things. Honestly, I'll get to 1 million subscribers and I'll say, well, guys, I'm going to do a tour of the bungalow, and then everybody would unsubscribe on this. It'd say, what a dump. Is Liz here? Thank you. Sepulsurjanen. Surjanen. That's how, Surjanen? Cypress Thank you. It was a dark stormy night, but Clive saved it. Aha. I tell you what, I was thinking that dark and stormy could be made with that Carolina Reaper vodka, caramel vodka, and cream soda, and rum. There's a loss on all Temu delivery. Liz is waiting. Okay, Liz, stand by. Ignition on. Woofling. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, it is a big one. But that's all right. Winter is arriving, so I can woofle bigger now. Also, I have my nice airflow sucking all the smokiness out. Well, it's not. The ceiling doesn't testify to this, though. Woofling. Fireballs. And smoking. Let me check. Were there any spiders in the vicinity? Not really, no. That's good. We had a spider visited during the Patreon stream. $10mm woofler, that would be quite, that would be this size. Phonautical, that wouldn't be very good. I think you mean 100mm woofler. Bungalow or cave or bothy? Chocolate jelly bean. Technically speaking, it's a bungalow. It's a junkalo. Haven't heard any spiders yet. No, I'll control the spider emissions. Nowhere to source 5mm LEDs at 0.5 hertz mark. Very hard to find. I'm pretty sure there is a seller, but they've changed their name on AliExpress. And there's a minimum order of something like 5,000 or more, because I think they actually make them to order. I'm not really sure. So other gadgets that may or may not have arrived from AliExpress recently. Well, one arrived not from AliExpress, but from eBay. Waiting for some other things coming from eBay. If you find a spider in the bathtub, don't worry, they're just horny. I always find spiders in the bathtub. Paul Byerly. And tend to leave them there, to be honest. Ralph gets all emotional and wants to put little ladders out so they can get out. Craig Matthews, does anyone know, can I isolate USB-C data lines by using optocouplers, or do they need some sort of transformer? I think they're digital, so I figure optical should be good. You can get devices like that, but keep in mind the power of the data lines is the bit that really needs, well, you need to isolate it all if you're connecting it to mains voltage stuff for like doing live Arduino type stuff. Minimum of 5,000 LEDs, crazy indeed, Mark. If they're making them to order, it's not so crazy. They fall in and can't get out. I fall down, but I can't get up again. Do you mean ladders and graves to the recently deceased? Yes, that's correct, yes. Are daddy longlegs still a thing in the UK? Not too often here, but they do appear seasonally, chocolate jelly bean. Your spiders can't climb, not slippery bathtubs, no. Have you ever seen a dispute where A has given the seller 10 days to respond to initial filing a dispute? In the past disputes, the seller would have, say, 3 to 4 days to respond. I'm not really sure, Greg. Certainly, when I've ordered stuff and it said they've not shipped it yet, but it's getting to the point you'll automatically be refunded, I've gone in and extended that to give them time to ship it because I wanted it. That was notable for this device. The lamp cap thing, because I did want it and they were sort of not getting it together in time. I extended it just to give them a chance. Crane fly, lots of them in Cornwall, says Jody Jackson. Aha. Dennis says, I seem to remember being told that what we call a daddy long legs is not the same thing in the USA. Is it not? It's got very long legs and little wings, and it's annoying, worrying, big, huge, like it's just more than annoying than a fly. The battery above the drawers is orange. This is orange, yes. Spiders can climb out of baths, just not clean baths. Yeah, okay. So I shouldn't clean the bath, Tom. We have really cute jumping spiders here in Australia. No, you can keep your jumping spiders, Paul. They're just, you have all the spiders in Australia. They're very, very dangerous. They're harmless and easy to catch to throw out. You just catch them by one leg. No, I don't. What's the best way to catch them? I'm not really sure. Electrons needed. The wiffle doorbell is not really recommended. No. For article, I did your LED modification for a 25-watt light earlier. Still too bright for me. Modify it again to even lower current. It will last forever. This dispute is for an item that is not as described. In particular, a measurement of a key part did not match the item I received. Things like that happen quite a lot. Cupped hands, no, the monk. They're very venomous and they bite you, probably. Don't know. My cats eat them, D-sound. Cats will eat and play with anything, yes. Ours are the body size of a pencil. His legs can be 2 to 3 inches long. Oh, that's not the same. Ours are only about that diameter at the max. Thank you, Hendrik Ostrov. How to measure AC voltage with a microcontroller? Depends what you're doing. You could theoretically, if your microcontroller is referenced to the AC voltage, if it's not mains voltage, you could have a resistor going to a analog to digital converter, a fast one, and then you could just actually measure the voltage that way. It might work, and then average it out to get the peak voltage, and then divide by 1.41. Blah blah blah. I'm not really sure the best way to do that. I woke up the wolf spider in my face once. I don't even know what a wolf spider is, or do we have them here? Do we have wolf spiders in the UK? Not sure. Paul Barley. I don't familiarise myself with the spider names. Studio 9 Jam. I'm in Scotland. We have fairly tame. The only bad spiders we've really got here is the false widow that I can think of. Rectify smooth, ADC, do some maths, but the best way to do it separately, independently. I'm not really sure. Do you know what would be quite useful is to look at the circuitry of a cheap digital multimeter and see how they get the average. But they've got the advantage that they are able to reference directly to the AC supply because it's battery operated. In the past, when I had my circuitry that was looking for the zero crossing point from the mains, I was generally referencing my controllers to one leg of the mains, either live or neutral. And then all I did was have a couple of resistors in series directly to the full mains voltage, and then looked for it passing through the 0 point. But basically that's just swinging between the full voltage. But with a suitable resistive divider and a digital analog converter, you could theoretically do things like that, which is what they will use in a meter. I have a new meter to take a look at. I'm a bit unconvinced about its category here. Very vague. You can tell it's quality because it just says digital multimeter. That's all it says in the box because it's one universal box for all. Could you use trafo? You could, Frank. You could actually use a transformer. It's an extra, but it'd have to be whatever frequency that AC was at. And then you'd have to basically, that would separate it as well. You'd have the primary on the main side and then the secondary, just at the low voltage, and then divide that down. But that would be expensive-ish to add to circuitry. There's cheaper ways of doing it, but it depends on the circuitry. It's an Aneng intelligent meter. It says category 4, 600 volts. I would not use this. This is like, category 4 is basically saying you can use it in distribution boards and substations and factory machines. And in the advert for it, they show the young model lady going, oh, and now I'm poking it into this panel here. And it's like, no, don't encourage people to do that. They should not put, I'd rate this probably, I've not seen the circuitry in it. Let's take a look at the circuitry before rating it. Category 2 max is what I'd rate it. For domestic appliances, tops at this point in time. And we'll see what circuitry's like inside. No fuse, it drops to category 1. I found a great meter for you. Very pink, nearly purple for nautical. I have spotted pink meters. So, scrolling. Scrolling indeed. Just give us a second here. What oscilloscope do you use? It varies. I do have a Keysight, but I also have lots of little. I've also got my original O1, which is much more affordable. And I also have the small, dinky little pocket oscilloscopes. Each has its own merits. The O1 is okay, it's a nice, huge screen. The Keysight obviously does a better job of finding complex waveforms, but is a bit of a learning experience every time I use it because I don't use it enough to actually be just go straight. It's not like I can go up and say, right, well, adjust that and that, and then beep, 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 or adjust that. I'm fumbling around too much when I use it. The fuses are rarely used in current measuring meters, megavolt mice. We'll see in this one. We'll see what it's got. Is it going to be resistors and that's it? Who here watches the WAN show? Well, I've seen bits and pieces of it, Voltar 2M stereo. Potty, put the DMM in the back of car, the junk in the trunk. The main thing I've got it for is testing it because it is the semi-intelligent-ish one that can work out what you're trying to measure. My scope's an old CRT one, but it works fine, Graham Shaw. There's a lot of advantages to the old CRT one because you got complete and instantaneous manual control over every parameter. My Agilent MSO is so complicated I always struggle to find the right functions. This is it, ElectronVox. If you used it daily at work, then you'd be really familiar with it. Thank you, Henrik. Measure resistor with it. I've also seen with Trafo. All right, okay. I love those cheap little $40 scopes. They've got their advantages, but some of them have the worst one for me is the one that has the little thumb wheel, but that you click as well. And with big hands like this, it's very hard it's very fumbly, and it's very hard to turn it without clicking it. It's just on the edge of the operation. Does it say, ooh, my, if you measure the wrong thing? It goes bang if you measure the wrong thing, maybe. Megavoice, you can get very high spec. Compared to the old cathode ray tube days, you get very high spec scopes for very little money these days. A death match with the other YouTube kid? No, that wouldn't be fair. There'd be a bit of an age difference. So I don't know. It might be an interesting fight. How many subs are you at now? I haven't a clue. It's 990 something. Oh, God knows. Hold on. Oh, 996,000. Yeah. I'm trying to think, what am I going to do for the million subs? I don't know. Will I actually make it that far before YouTube deletes the channel? Because, well, look at what happened to the 3D printing general recently. He just reached 100,000 subs, and then YouTube just deleted his channel. Not just that channel, but every channel associated with everything, including YouTube memberships and his dad's business channel and a French channel as well. Not sure what's going on here. They may have been trying to cheat the system, I don't know. I don't know the full story. But suddenly, rug ripped out from under feet, gone. That's the security you have with YouTube. Tape 10 woofers together. All I need to do is print a very big one, Verda Wolf. Blow up Bluto? No, Bluto's not getting blown up. Bluto is iconic from the early days of the website. That's always been the website logo. That's the original Bluto. Naked video at 1 million? No, because that would get the channel deleted, Bob S. It would have to be on the OnlyFans channel. And that's just all naked anyway, so it doesn't really matter. YouTube deleted ChemPlayer, did they? They do this, like Nile Red is still there, but it's on the edge of some of the stuff, and Nerd Rage got demonetized completely, didn't it? I'm not really sure what happens to that. 1 kilowatt LED supercomputer. Attempt to make another big supercomputer as a live build, a live stream build. Not really sure. Is he still on the wires? He is not. Print a million unit size woofer then. That is a million. Well, I'm not really sure how that would go. I could scale units down to fit. I'm limited by the build plate surface of the 3D printer. Burn Ralph's straw hat. Well, I'm very tempted. I actually got my new hat. Kind of, because I know he likes the sort of meshy, woveny type hat. So I got him one in the colour he likes from eBay, and he actually liked it, which is surprising. Squish a pigeon? No. You can't put stuff like that in the computer. Disco ball supercomputer next project. Could be. Someone's done that, Paul T. Someone did the complete ball. Livestream Big Clive's bath time, Minky Moo 2. Yes. But the other things, I'm not really sure what to do. I was toying with getting a circuit board made just for it, but I'm not really sure. Don't know. My first aluminium PCB. Like that, little aluminium PCU. This isn't it. This is just one from a previous video. You can try and work out what that was from. Team with PewDiePie for Mega Woofle. Well, PewDiePie, Chocolate Jelly Bean, I don't think he'd deal with minions like myself. They've tried to take down Cody's lab a few times. Indeed, Paul. This is what happens when Karens get involved. For 1 million subscribers, we should have a 6-hour live stream. That might be viable, Megavoltmeister. If it's a really big supercomputer, it might be a 6-hour live stream. I don't think the website was in update with anything for a while. No, the channel's taken over from the website. The only thing that's been done the website over the last year was it had all its... it was made HTTPS to stop it just coming up and being flagged as, you know, you can't view this site for security reasons. And also had all the advertising stripped off it because it's just not relevant anymore. Latency check. I'm not really sure what the latency check will be at the moment. Is that the Northern Lights in your window? The pattern in the back over there, that is not a window, but that in the background is a flaming fireplace with green LEDs in it. So let's do a latency test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds it says, but that might not be accurate. Let's go and look at stats for nerds here. That seems quite long. What we currently at? Volume normalized is 95%. That's quite good. Live latency 6.4 seconds. It is 6 seconds latency. That's quite high. It's normally just 2 or 3. That's okay. Aurora Borealis at this time of year. Yes, Onyx, because apparently, and I've not seen it yet, but apparently it has been visible round about this time of night because it's very black outside, particularly when the streetlights go off at 1 o'clock in the morning, which is, well, it's 9:50 now. So that would be, it's approaching 10 now, so that would be about 3 hours' time the streetlights go off all round the Isle of Man. And at that time, people have said they've been able to see the Aurora Borealis. They've taken pictures of it. Big Toe says the spiders are barking up a storm here, those dreadful farting spiders. So is that a peak time for thefts? No, because it's pitch black and nobody can see anything and they all get scared. It's the complete opposite happens. It's when you get street lighting, people can find their way about. I should put this meter through. I also have Temu's cheapest meter through there, which is just an ordinary, you know, the typical little cheap meter. I've also got from Temu a radiation tester, but these are being sold as radiation testers, as in people Some of them are even misleadingly saying detects like, look out for nuclear radiation, Fukushima and things like that. They're not. They're just the ones that detect um, strong electrical fields. Hold on. I'm safe. Oh, this one's going up to. Oh no, this one managed to get right up to the top of the range. That means I can actually then claim. I can't really show you this. I could actually show you. I could unclip the light. Hold on. Or bring the cable up, maybe. Nope, it's the light itself with its high frequency. All these things are doing is detecting the high frequency magnetic field from the ballast. Is this going to show? Is it going to show? No, it's not really going to show, is it? I can't. I'm not going to get it from this end. No, not going to get it from there. Nope, 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 nothing. It's only going to light at the bottom, and I can't get up high enough for that. So that screws that then. But I tell you what I could do. I could put this light back on. I could take this one off, because this one's got a longer cable on it. Okay, here's the meter. And we'll put it up. Oh no, look, it's got all the 5G energy beams in it. You know, I'm afraid I'm going to have to. The best thing we can do, madam, is sell you this whole house energy cleansing device that plugs into your socket. And there's no obvious indication other than the power LED that it's doing anything. But it basically cleans all the power in your house. And they actually do sell stuff like that. This isn't clipping back on again. There it goes. So I'm not sure what's in this, but we'll find out. I've got a few of these. Some of them are designed to just basically, they're like those voltage detector, the live wire detectors, but they're being sold for duping people into buying these whole house energy cleaners, or they say if it doesn't work, we could try one in every room and things like that. They're only £1,000 each. The more they charge, the better, apparently. Don't miss Ron's super chat. Let me just double check. Ron Nonna has left a super chat. Hold on. I wasn't looking when that super chat happened. It's come up at the top here. Thank you, Ron Nonna. Really enjoying these chats, enjoying the Patreon chats even more. With the cost of everything going up, I want to increase my coffee fund to the actual cup of quality coffee. Am I doing it wrong? It's fine. Just a small super chat's fine. It's all good. And the Patreon thing, the difference between $1 and $2 is quite big because you get the card processing fees, which take a chunk of the $1. But it's all fine. That I've not got any sort of standards at all. Is Temu safe, Sausage Girl? As safe as any other online platform. I used to use my credit card or debit card with AliExpress, and then one day I went to order some stuff, and it just went through instantly without asking for the security code. And I thought, I don't like that. So I switched to PayPal, and that card number is now expired, which is good. But with Temu, I don't use their app because their app is as invasive as Facebook. And I pay by PayPal because that way it's got that extra layer. They can't just charge to the PayPal account. Although they do leave it open for a fixed length of time after you've placed an order so you can add things without having to reconfirm. Streetlight here is designed by Stalag Luftguards. Really? Brown Cox. So is Temu safe? Is AliExpress safe? Is eBay safe? Is any online marketplace? Is Amazon safe? Zach and the J, sorry for lateness. How long is the stream going today? It's going on till at least 1/2 the hour. So a magnet tester, I think it's an alternating magnet tester. I don't think it's just purely, it's probably a coil, I'd guess. Hold on. Have you ever worked as a lineman on the high voltage wires? I worked in an electrical engineering company with high voltage distribution within steelworks. Does it detect? It detects it being brought up to the badge, but it's looking for an alternating signal. E.J. Steel & Co. Electrical Engineers. It was mainly high voltage in the steelworks. It's very interesting, but a bit scary as well. And it definitely wasn't done to modern safety standards. If they needed to do anything dangerous, they'd send an apprentice to do it, and that was me. Not great. This is another thing about. Ah, scrolling. Chocolate Jam, Clive, you got $20 indeed. Yes, thank you. It's a scam detector, yes. Do they have big three-phase arc furnaces? Yes. The arc furnaces generally have their own little substation built on. They use a lot of power. Oh, I've just pushed the wrong thing. Pushing buttons here. Ah. There are cards that you can use that are relatively secure, because they only let you put a fixed value into it. But also, you can just basically refresh it dynamically. It's got extra layers of security. Talking of which, PayPal now accepts the little U2F keys, which is good. Dillian Faircloth, greetings. Glad you could make it to this stream. Human Seagull here, drinking beer. Are you out, Human Seagull? Although, having said that, usually early in the stream you were at home before going out. So this is the next thing I got from Temu. It's one of these little lab things that you can adjust the height by turning this, and it lets you fine adjust the height of things, which could be quite useful. Let me just spin it out. It's full whack. I'll just spin it like this because it's the fastest way of doing it. Because it's quite a few turns, because it is designed for precise work, but unfortunately when it's out there, the top is at a funny angle, but that's only because, I think, there is a bit of slop in the guide roller here, and that is amplified by the fact it's all over here. Thank you, Mr. Planet Man. Much appreciated. Scissor stand. Not sure what you'd call it. I just call it a lab height adjuster. Clive would change towards that one. No, Peter Stevens, I don't think it would quite take that. It would burst. All steel mills are gay steel mills. I will say that there were a lot of bears in the steel mills. But back then it was still a criminal offence to be gay, so I wouldn't really know how many were. I visited the guys when the steelworks was shut down by Thatcher and then decommissioned. I visited, just popped in to see if what the guys were doing. They were decommissioning the place, just removing all the stuff. And they were so camp. Really, it was such a surprise to see them out of the steelwork persona. They still had the beers and things like that, but it was all much, it was less manly, but it was a very manly environment. Temu appear to do a nice amount of cat accessories for us feline fanciers. Are they safe for cats? That's the question, Human Seagull. I did locate one of them that I'd always admired. He had a huge wowzer of a moustache. Johnny Watson. I did locate one. He's moved to Australia. Don't know where the other guys went. Gayness is in the eye of the beholder. Probably Vera de Wolf. That's true. The gay steel mill thing on the Simpsons skit, it is very camp in that aspect, but I think the steelworks did attract a lot because it was a very male-dominated environment. I still have my old steelwork overalls. The ones that I barely fit into. Wish I could grow a tash like that. Indeed, that's what I wanted at the time, Craig Matthews, but I couldn't. Jaeger time. Okay. Jaeger time seems fitting. To all the gay steelworkers. It's almost as bad as the military, but we never discussed that either. Go change outfits? No. It's not ideal for putting overalls on over shorts. I love working the ICI power station. No one around to say don't. Ah, Disan. I did like the steelworks. I liked the image of the steelworks. I liked it's just very. I liked the danger as well. I've not found one of my pay slips, the wage slips from that era. They probably just went in the bin, but it actually has on it. It's got danger money and then a portion of danger money for that week at the steelworks. Because it was dangerous, but you didn't really think of that at the time. You just quite enjoyed the fact it was dangerous. If anything, all that steel flying around and rollers, and if things go wrong, as you've seen in videos on YouTube, when things go wrong, steelworks, it's violent. I never saw anything majorly go wrong. I'm a steel gay worker, not Jaeger for your kitchen. What? For my breed. That jumped a bit. Thank you, chilled out Paul. Hi, Clive. I've EMF detection. The coil is a few, about 5 copper traces going around the outside of the PCB. That would make sense because it's a cheap way to implement a coil, having them on the circuit board itself. You can actually make PCB mounted high frequency transformers as well, with a coil on one side and then a coil on the other, and it's interesting. You can actually make them that way as well, along the circuit board, by actually having plated through holes going through, so it's actually a three-dimensional coil. Need coal for steel still? Not sure, Paul T. Mostly arc furnaces, I guess, these days. But when I was at the steelworks, we had mounds of coke dumped off, the sort of like the coke chunks for the which we used in our heater in our tea house. The house is what we called it. HOWFF, I think that's pronounced. The house, which is where you have your tea and lunch. Do you have anything cool with Nixie tubes? Strange you'd see that. Say that, Lee Frog. I was looking at stuff like that recently. Notably, this little, what's it called? MTX90. 3-terminal neon tube, which is actually a Thyrotron. Is it a Thyrotron? But this one is used in a weird, I need to get one. It's a touch button control, a Soviet. It's very odd. I don't know what it was for. I get the feeling it may not have been the most successful thing unless it was an industrial application, but all it's got is little metal tabs out the front. You touch them. And all it does, because this has got a current limited supply, possibly via a coil, and it's got the 3 terminals, it's got the, well, let's see if I can work them out here. This one here, with the dot, is going to the cathode, which is the end shell here, which is a bit that glows. The middle one is going to the middle tiny electrode, which is the anode, because it doesn't do much work. And then the other one is going to a little gate anode. And if you were to connect this to the mains with current limiting and touch this one, then theoretically, as your reference to the mains, if you cap the voltage so it doesn't turn it on instantly, if you touch this, it will bias it. You'll be the mains reference, and it would actually trigger, but you'd have to do it with suitable circuitry. Hazardous pay in the USA, Refman, is that what they call it? Danger money is what they called it here. I guess these days it would be, they'd call it, they wouldn't call it hazard money because they'd just say, well, we can't imply that it might be a hazard. I just saw it as extra money, to be honest, which is nice. Extra money for working in a nice environment. I always got crushed by an overhead gantry crane. Were you up in the gantry, the Man Lab? They're formidable big things. I used to work in those things. Fran wants it. Fran can get these in bulk off eBay shipped to her because I was looking at listings from Ukraine and Bulgaria. There's tons of stuff. It's just like there's no end to the supply of tubes and things from the Soviet era. They had so much. The Man Lab, the steel mill I worked at, when someone got really hurt, they were put down on a holiday. Not actually put down, though. Getting sent out on a holiday, I think it's just a risk of the job, really, at steelworks. I don't think you can manage steel without the risk of something happening. Could you remind us who's doing the supercomputer kits, please? If it's the little badges, it's Mouse. And you'll probably find flashy things on Etsy. I wonder if Evolution's still got his shop up. Hey, Britt, I was at Shelton Rolling Mill for a bit. Painter and decorators, mate, not a career thing. Aha. Palmet, fuck it. Today's not my day, I'm shutting up, says Palmet. Lovely. Hot steel is inherently safe until it gets wet or stuff goes wrong. It's not that bad, Brian Cox. If it hits an object while it's being rolled or stuff goes wrong, it's always a bit messy. Ekodowski, did anyone see the video of the policeman saving that boy from being electrocuted by a fallen overhead line? So there was loads of yellow tape. Had the kid gone to duck under the tape or something like that? I'm not really sure. Or had that been put up afterwards? But yeah, they were going into a zone where there could have been a gradient across the ground. Both of them took a high risk. But they got him away and then stuck him in the back of the truck. Wouldn't it be better waiting for the paramedics? Then again, it was America, so probably better not waiting for the paramedics, to be honest. Things are not normal there. God bless the Soviets making so many tubes. Yeah, it's weird, Zach and the J. They had lots of weird and interesting stuff, including those high-resolution neon matrix displays with like one wire per column and one wire per row. That's ridiculous. And those ultraviolet source globes for medical use that are just basically a sphere with a pip in it, but no electrodes. You couple the current in externally capacitively or inductively. Oscar Kettler, is it better to remain quiet and be thought a fool rather than open your mouth and remove all doubt? I just open my mouth. Make a dick of myself. That's fine. My lab, we're down one end putting in new lights for them to do maintenance, and they only gave me one lanyard for the safety wire. Well, I haven't used double lanyards much myself. Generally speaking, you don't kind of let go while you're moving it from one side to other. This is all. I think the double lanyard thing, they can get in the way at times. I think they were invented by people just inventing scenarios that you were just going to go, I've lifted my lanyard off, now I'm just balancing, oh, help me, help me. No, it doesn't work like that. Yes, double lanyards when it suits the environment. Need a constant current flashing LED, Paul T says. Why constant current? Evolution has put up his link to Etsy. We need a poll, any poll. I could ask how many of you worked in steelworks, but there's no point in that. Haven't lost my temper this week. I wouldn't specifically say I have. I wonder why the USSR held on to valve technology as long as they did. It's reliable, Paul Byerly. I also think they got into the swing of manufacturing stuff, and because they're not very organised, it just kept going on. For ages, they were just manufacturing and manufacturing and manufacturing without actually making a smooth transition into electronics. But it's you look online on YouTube at the videos of the elevators, for instance, is a good example. And the technology spans right from really crude electromechanical right through to state-of-the-art electronics, sometimes all mixed up together because the guys that are fixing this stuff just blend them together. It's very interesting. There's Horavac with an opinion again, yes. They were even manufacturing new tubes in the 90s. Yeah, Olive. So there must be just big warehouses of them. Talking of which, there's Scott at Def Palms Electronics Repair. We're talking about huge quantities of Soviet technology still available, including the little Thyrotron tubes, the little neon ones. Very neat, very stylish. People used to say it was EMP proof. Yes. Joe is more likely to take down the power grid than an EMP. It's the fact it really isn't secure, and that, the hackers probably have found their way into various areas, and it's not, that's what's going to take down the grid, probably. A controlled effort to shut down sections, because if you shut down a section of the grid, it has knock-on effects. When it comes back in, it can actually overload it with all the load coming at once. When power goes off in your neighborhood, all the heating devices, like say for instance your water heater, they'll get cooler, so the thermostat will come in. All the heaters, the thermostat will come in because the place is cold now. And all the air conditioning, it's saying the place is, if it's, depending on what your climate is, it'll be the opposite direction. It'll get too hot. So all these high heating loads come on, and when they restore power, you suddenly get this massive load initially that can just blow fuses instantly as soon as they try to reinstate power. It's been known, well, it's common for utility companies when something like that's happening to bridge out the fuse temporarily. Give it a while for the heaters to catch up and cycle back out, like the water heaters, and then they'll just reinstate the fuse. Bit of a shady thing to do. Alex Barton, just checking him live. Indeed. Are you involved in Edinburgh Castle Light Show thing? Gordon Irving, only the tattoo. Ah. But it's nice that all that stuff's available. I hope a lot of it didn't get scrapped. I get the feeling that there are crumbling warehouses and they're just throwing it into skips. But anyway, imagine that cutting out of power over the whole of the Isle of Man. And what load would come on with all the heaters in the Isle of Man, particularly in winter, and everybody really cold, so they've got little heaters in the rooms and stuff like that, and the water heaters, just everything adds up. And the initial instantaneous, instead of nice average load, is just the full maximum load that could be possible. This is part of the reason that modern smart meters have that relay in them, because now they can actually send a signal to the smart meters and phase the load in gradually to avoid that. Omar says, aren't all the extra tubes just result from vast National Reserve inventory? Probably. Minky Mutu says, the sun will take the grid down one of these days. According to all the people in the scaremongering and marketing, yes. A well-placed rock throw can take out the grid, Anonymous. Yes, and also, particularly if you tie an island thread to it and then pull a wire up from the ground to short out the overhead line, that can take out power locally. But I do like the tiny, tiny little valves, the super ones that look like neon bulbs, but they're actually valves. Tubes, as you'd say in America. Right, I'm catching up. My local authority has my permission to control my AC remotely. Oh, that's that thing, John Key. They give you a discount if they can cut it down by a couple of degrees. Yeah. The strike cake pissed the bed. What? A well-placed excavator and take out a grid it can at Killar. Yes. Well, that was that thing that those people, did they catch them, that were going around shooting at substations? That you shoot the oil cooling fins, the oil level drops, the Buckles relay kicks in that kicks the substation out. Absolutely, I'm a silly sausage. We're all silly sausages. So power coming back on is the pulse, yeah. Well, look at the rolling blackouts they had across America not that long ago. Wilco Jaeger, R.I.P. We could, Wilco, it's a shame they have gone, but they didn't have a branch over here, South Wales. SOX, I'm sure they'd probably been bought out. What's my opinion of Chihuahuas, JB? Too small and yappy. Alex Barge, would a pump underwater trip the switch and holding it on doesn't help? If you've got an underwater pump that the insulation is broken down, it could even be an electrical connection box, and it's submerged, it will potentially trip your breaker, either the MCB or the RCD or GFCI. And holding the breaker on does not work because it's designed to trip internally to stop people jamming the circuit breakers on. I'm quite intrigued to see if there is a solar flare. I'll be fine for illumination. We will all die of Carinitis. There is no antidote, giant frost giant. It's the Karen nature, and maybe we should be called. There must be a better word than Karens, but that type of people is causing a huge negative burden on society. As to sell, haggis has been available on tin for a long time. Happy little foxy, aka Benji. Jaeger time. It's not Jaeger time. Jaeger time happens on the hour. The last Jaeger time was to gay steelworkers just because they were topical at the time. Whiny assholes. Yes, don't say Karen, says Mr. Eggcake. Well, unfortunately, there's no other word that fits that. We could call them negatarians, or more likely contrarians, which is a better description. But over time, the amount of power used by people with LED lamps and things has come down. I've got another. I've got two here. Let's drink to Jack Attack. I don't even know if Jack Attack's here. I haven't spotted him. James Brown, who gave me the bottle of Aftershock. Or gay metalworkers, blacksmiths and all, Mr. Eggcake. Light Flash LP, hello. Yes, big bearded man indeed. Cars know nothing about science or technology. Unfortunately, some of them do, Nick Norton, but not that much. They have their own special science based on what they want to hear. But that's things to James Brown, indeed. It's very easy to remember because there was a song called James Brown is Dead, which was unfortunate because James Brown, the singer, was not dead when that song came out. So another song came out called James Brown is Still Alive. Problematic white women, yes. That's racist, though. Mr. Eggcake, big beardy men. Men should have beards. They're essential for protection from elements and work. James Brown is dead. Dun, dun, dun. It's a classic tune if you look it up. Throat's going hoarse again. Living with a hernia, Paul T. Well, we were discussing that yesterday, how they occur in the first place. Oh, well, at least it's a one-day thing in hospital to get your hernia fixed. Bit of recovery time afterwards, but that's it. Nuts Proud says, I have a beard. This is good. You're right, only 10 minutes left. There are only about 10 minutes left, ending on a whiffle. They missed an opportunity to release The Queen is Dead. I don't think that would have been appropriate, Zadster. That might have upset the contrarians. Treasure Bloke, I just shaved my beard off. You can't fancy me now. You're just going to have to grow your beard back again. Hold on. Very simple. Pull. Do you have any other gadgets? No, let's just make it beard. Let's just make it beard. With a question mark, because it is a question. Do I have any other gadgets to show from Temu? I have lots of stuff from Temu. In fact, I tried plating my beard. I read that as plating, as metaplating. Plating my beard with limited results. It turns a big beard into a tiny little beard. It's not great. Craig Matthews, I need to shave mine. It's so thin I look like a twit if I let it grow in. It will get thicker over time. No, I have bread. That's good as well. Spider Driver Lee says, reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Good to see you back, Spider Driver Lee. That T-pole is genderous. It is genderous, yes, Frost Giant. But some women do have beards. And the results are 50-50. Good result. Deb's Dire Armours, here's a beard because they can't be bothered shaving. Indeed, yes. Too much grey in the beard these days. This is what colour is for a Scary West. Listen to the voice going croaky. It is a very precise 50-50, Brad's Guitar Garge. An electroplated beard would be very bad for your health, but very cool. It would be quite complex, Evan. I'm not really sure how you'd do that. The result did add up to 100%, which is very impressive. Horrifax says, can I vote yes twice because my beard is worth two beards? I don't know. Because even if it's down to your waist, it's one beard. Coated fine carbon powder and electroplate. I'm not sure the carbon powder would stay on, but you could make your beard conductive. Not sure how you'd do that. I don't think it would be a good result. I think you'd end up having to cut it off. Def Bomb says, my beard is indeed getting thicker with age, as my ear hair, eyebrows. Meanwhile, the hair on top of my head is vanishing. That is typical man. The grey beards always shout louder. I just like to. Mine's grey from about here down now with a bit of a stripe down the middle, but just I've coloured it in. Now, once you've started, you can't really go back without cutting it back off. Burn the tips? No, that just makes the place stink. What if it grows up from your waist? That's unhygienic. Greybeards get you age checked a lot less frequently, yes, Brit, but my size kind of works for that, the size of the beard. I'm going to have to, what about when I'm really old and I want to go in the bus and I want to get the old person seat? I have to have the grey beard for that, don't I? Didn't use beard hair for light clothes back in the day. It's possible, Paul. I'm not really sure. It is a thicker beard. Sausage Earl, my beard grows more on one side than it does on the other. Yeah, just trim it level. That's fine. That's what happens. They have their own thing. Fnautical, yeah, the live streams did have the complete history of my beard. But they're all down now. There's not too many live streams left just because they are just too high risk. Randy Vice Admiral Tiger, there's 6 minutes left of this stream, but that's okay. How hairy is your body? It's not that hairy, Minky Moo too. You see some YouTubers and it's like the whole back of their hand is dark hair right down to their fingers. It's quite odd. Wolftail Wagger, I really hope to find a new revolutionary use for human hair one day. It's such an abundant resource. There are many things that are. I mean, not that long ago I featured Lady Time of the Month as being a source of stem cells, a really easy source of stem cells that are useful for curing many things. So that's quite interesting. No, Frost Giant, don't keep boogers in the beard. You have to, when you sneeze, you have to check your beard. I won't be able to finish my wine before then. Chug, 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 Kieran Kennedy. It is odd being the same age as old people, Studio 9 Jam. Yes, particularly when you don't really feel like an old person. That's quite odd. The bodies do burn out, though. Thank you, Christian. I trust you've not forgotten to call out your main man, Scruff Dog, in his post. There is a link that will automatically appear at the end to Scruff Dog. Well, it should appear at the end. I've put the link in place. I also remembered, as you may have noticed, to actually flip this stream so it's sideways. It defaults every time to vertical. The day I forget that, it'll come up a horizontal thumbnail and then it'll flip to vertical as soon as I start doing it. Maybe I'll just go with vertical if that happens again. It's annoying. What's the average age of the viewers? It's wide. It's kind of complex pulled set up right now. If I grow a beard one side, face a different colour to that's called a feature, Jerry. That is good, actually. Thanks, Brad Guitar Garage. Have a pint me, big fella. Get a dog up ya. Thanks, that's greatly appreciated. I think that will actually buy, even the current exchange rate, 2 pints at least. Much appreciated. Yes, no portraits. Yes, it would be annoying if that happens, but otherwise it means resetting the whole stream up again, which is annoying. Maybe I should keep a standby stream in reserve just for, and just call it emergency stream. I did that when I was in Edinburgh because so many streams bombed. Rusty Bee stuff is 71, Evolution is 48. Vertiwolf is 463, that's quite old. Thomason 65. Let's just say we're all pretty mature here, actually. It's the old man club. Good. Disgraceful old men. No real youngsters know why they're all playing games. And food-wise, very simple food requirements here. Tony Pate. Last week, auto transfer was a bit Big Brother, but worked very well. Oh yes, it was a little. What actually happened? I get a little thing at the top to click. Have you been doing any pelvic exercises? Maybe I should try the crystal thing in the thumbnail for that. I'm not really sure. Ah, I remember the big bag, Kevin Hart did. The big bag. What big bag was that? 3 minutes to go in the stream, just so you know it will end with flames. I eat sushi burgers and triangle sandwiches, Chris Wenham. The triangle sandwich, it sounds very healthy actually. Sounds well balanced. Sophia, I'm a finely distillo though, yes, that's all right. If you're here, you are fine. Used the ATM lately. What? ATM? My beard always leads to one side. Do you know what mine does, people? When I go outside, as soon as I start walking, there's the slightest draft. It does the Jesus split and it goes like that. It's so light, it parts like that. And I don't know what it looks like because I've never seen it, but I can see it parting. What colour lightsaber would you have? I think it would be. Are we talking LED technology? Are they particularly bad? Might go for a black one just because then nobody'd know it was on. Blue, probably. I'm not really sure. Pirate Forkbeard. Indeed, Monkey Man here. ATM. No. No. ATM to me is an auto teller machine, yes. Plait your beard, no. Done it in the past, Kieran Kendi. Well, others have done it for me. And it just basically, it ends up like a big beard turns into a little core like this. That's what happens when you plait it. It's not good. I can't even get the correct beard dye locally. They just stock a very limited range now. Is it going to go jet black? I'm not really sure. Scott Sapper, I like my farts. You should put that on YouTube. Use some hand sanitizer and rub your beard. It'll keep it together. That's a point for optical because the alcohol would evaporate out and you'd be left with the polymer gel stuff. What do you call a black LED? A dark and doubt. I make those from time to time, Voltar 2M Star. Mind you, so that's what some of the eBay sellers sell. Dead. Now here's the thing. I don't know about this. Bringing this thing back in. What material is this? There's no real noticeable smell. It has shrunk slightly. Now, is it a two-part polymer or is it heat? I think it might be heat because there is a slight patterning here where they've poured it into the mold, but do they put a vacuum? It is devoid of bubbles. It's very good. Poop smell, no. It is clean. This is from Temu, by the way, for those who don't know. It's lovely and crystal clear, and if I find my light again, it would make a lovely illuminated ornament. It takes the light very well. Video died again, says Raven Looney. Maybe because I'm showing bad things. Mouse has just got home. Oh, terrible timing. Oh, Mouse. This is from Temu. It's a thing, but it's based on presumably some old lady's glass ornament. But they're actually selling it as a thing. But I think it's nice optically, and I'm going to put an LED in it and use it as an ornament. And did locally put on a local community board. I just said, I found this in amongst my grand's glassware. Does anybody know what it's for? Lots of weird comments. Put flame LEDs in it, it might work, Volt R2M stereo. So it's soft, yes. It looks like glass, but why would they just make it this shape? It doesn't look like it's like, let's just use a candelabra mold for making random things that people put in themselves. Lovely. Green LED uranium glass, it could be made radioactive. Oh, it should. It should be made into uranium glass with the green LED. It's like props ice shows. It's a TV prop. Yeah, they are sort of rubbery. No, I'm not going to deep throat it, Pat. That would choke me, basically. One does not stick things like that in one's mouth. Talking of which, I've got bananas through there, which I'm going to stick in my mouth, but only in the normal process of eating, but I'm going to check them for radiation. I also got thoriated electrodes. Now, that's a question I meant to ask you guys. Is there such a thing as an affordable alpha Geiger counter? Because they're thousands of pounds to get the pancake type detectors. At the moment, my Geiger counter only does really gamma and X-ray. Woof woof. But it does pick up the byproducts of alpha emission, but it's not an accurate result. Because people are saying, oh, that pendant from Tamu, it's not that radioactive. If that had been an alpha detector, yes, it would have been radioactive. Woofling. Oh, that was definitely a, yes, that got the hair in the hand, yes. As usually happens the last woofle. Anyway, the stream is now coming to an end. Alpha is crap. If you ingest it, it's pretty bad. Radiation doesn't make green light, it's phosphocoating that glows. In Osborne, I have to get some 203 type cells, the mouse badges. You can buy them in bulk on eBay. They're fine for that. Scintillation meter. The other thing, I did look up the high voltage one with the grid, with the high voltage that just sparks across in the presence of the alpha. That might be viable. I suppose you could try it. But anyway, the stream is now coming to an end. I'll be back next week. I'll be back on Thursday for the patrons. I'll be back on Saturday for everybody. Until then, have a good week. And now it's going over to Scruff Dogs after Clive's stream. So, someone just let Drew. Slow Nick, thank you, much appreciated. But have a good week. I shall catch you next week. Awkward moment.